Good morning. So, do you have any doubts from the last three chapters? Any doubts from the last three chapters? Please ask. Otherwise, we will start with the new chapter today. Any doubts from the previous chapters? Please ask. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, the previous chapters that is completed is first one. That was excretory system, that is nitrogenous waste and its elimination, that one. And the second was breathing and exchange of gas. Last chapter was, I think, what was it, last chapter? Oh yes, body fluids, circulatory system, right? So that is the third chapter. So three chapters are already done. This is the fourth one. Okay. If you and already I have given all the notes for the last three chapters. I hope you have noted down all the notes. Don't keep it in the like PPTs itself or the PDF file itself. Okay, just make the habit of noting it down, making notes. Then it will be easy for studying. Okay, and you will, and don't keep it for like you'll study at the end of the sem for finance. It's not like that. You have to study for your sessional also. There will be two or three sessionals. Okay, first sessional, second sessional, and there will be different other activities. So keep completing. But because for biology you have to study both zoology and botany together, right? Zoology and botany will combine together, and then that will combine the syllabus for biology, which is huge. If you have to like give exam same day for zoology and botany, it is huge. So that's why you whatever that is taught, you just study at home also.
लास्ट चैप्टर का वो है क्या पीडीएफ नोट से क्या पता
And दे दिया तो मैंने. Did you get it? I sent in the group, right? Last chapter. Yesterday no, yes, I took the yesterday's class. I took on Monday, no. Yes, Tuesday's class I took on Monday.
एक्चुअली
Monday को लिया था ना मैंने Tuesday का class.
हाँ लेकिन मंडे
यस
मैंने
मैम,
क्लास नहीं अटेंड
मंडे लिया था आपने.
Monday 3 because I had to come home. No, yesterday I traveled. That's why I was like in the car. That's why I couldn't take class, and I took the class on Monday. And उसी दिन को मैंने वो ग्रुप में तुम लोग का जो जूलॉजी थियोरी सेक्शन बी का ग्रुप है उसमें तुम्हारा नोट्स शेयर कर दिया था. देख लेना वहाँ पे. ओके, सब अगर नहीं है तो just text me and ask for the notes. You will get it.
और
Okay, and also I have shared in the group on Monday. You just see at like 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. I have shared the notes. Just go through the group messages. The zoology theory section B group.
सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम
Yes, that is the last one. No, that is the third chapter. Yes.
আছে গ্ৰুপত আছে.
গ্ৰুপতে চব তোমাৰ গোটেইখিনি নোটছ গ্ৰুপত দিয়া হৈছে. যদি কিবা নাই পোৱা বা পোৱা নাই বা যি হ'লেও মিছ কৰিছা তেন্তে মেছেজ কৰিলে হৈছে পাৰ্চনেলি. Okay, so okay, we will start with this chapter today. That is chemical control and coordination. Chemical control or endocrine glands. So, in control and coordination, what is control and what is coordination? Coordination, all of you know, right? That is syncing of every you have to what to say? You have to do things. You have to coordinate, right? Among your body also, things need to coordinate. Like your brain and your hand and your everything needs to work simultaneously, right? Only one organ is working and other is not working, that will not do, right? So everything that needs to coordinate. Coordinate means suppose like what to say. Okay, let me give you an example. you're eating things like you're eating rice or breakfast, whatever you're eating, then your body does some digestive functions, digestive system does those digestion processes done. Then again, what to say, say you're breathing air, oxygen, whatever, then the all those respiratory system is working, right? So all those things are happening because your body coordinates. Okay, that coordination takes place in your body. Also, you can just see take the example of nervous coordination is also there. Like uh, if you like something, someone throw something at you. Okay, suppose someone throws something at you, you'll it came like in front of your eye, automatically your eyes will be closed. Okay, or some like you're exposed to some dust, or like a fly comes near you, automatically your eye will be closed. That is also some sort of coordination that happens inside our body. Okay, so that coordination is there inside the body, so control and coordination is there inside the body. Okay, so in all organisms. So what happens in control and coordination, there are two systems. Okay, in control, and just remember that in control and coordination of the body, there are two systems. One is chemical coordination or chemical control and coordination, same thing, and there is neural control and coordination. If you see the syllabus, you will see like there are two chapters in the syllabus. If you go through the syllabus, there are like, let me see. Okay, yes, there are two chapters. One is the fourth one, yes, sixth one is neural control and coordination. Then there is this one, eighth chapter, that is chemical coordination, endocrine gland. So there are two systems. One is neural control and coordination, one is chemical control and coordination. So neural control and coordination, it is done by the nervous system, the neurons. Okay, mostly the neurons does it. The neurons, the nerve cells, whatever that part is done by those nerves and neurons. Okay, that neural control and coordination. And the chemical control and coordination, this is done by hormones and the chemicals, whatever that is inside the body. Okay, the hormones. Why hormones are called chemicals? Hormones are itself, hormones are chemicals. Okay, it is nothing like they are actually chemical messengers. Hormones, they are chemical messengers. Okay, and since they are chemicals, that is why this system is known as chemical control and coordination. Okay, and here the chemical means the hormones. We will get to know, we will discuss a little bit more about that in the coming slides. But this just remember, for now we will discuss the neural control and coordination. That is a separate chapter. After completing this chapter, we will go to the neural control and coordination. Okay, so yes, you can give your roll numbers. Okay, just once, give it once in the chat box. You can give your roll numbers. Okay, so neural control and coordination, that's a completely different chapter, and there is chemical control and coordination, which is this chapter. Okay, after discussing this first chapter, we will go to the next one, that is neural control and coordination. So now chemical control and coordination. In chemical control and coordination, chemical is nothing but hormones. Hormones, all of you know hormones, right? So there are sex hormones, there are other hormones like can you name some hormones? Can you name some a few hormones that is present inside the body, like one or two hormones? Obviously, you know of that. What is the hormone that is very important for those that plays a very major role for diabetic patients, diabetic people? What is that hormone? For diabetic people, there is a very important hormone. What is it? Oh no, please speak up. Okay, it may be wrong. Just try.
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline. Okay, adrenaline is a hormone. Okay, yes, adrenaline is a hormone, but it does not play important. It does not play any role in diabetes. For diabetes, the hormone is insulin. Have you heard of insulin? They for diabetic people they take insulin shots. No, they take insulin shots because for diabetic people, what happens? The insulin level is low. Okay, and if the insulin level is low, then what happens? The blood sugar, right, goes up. Okay, the insulin it controls the blood sugar level, and whenever there is less insulin, then there is the blood sugar level it goes up. That is why the people with diabetic patients they have to given insulin shots right in the stomach near the navel area. They are giving insulin. Why? Because the diabetic people they insulin also a hormone. Insulin is also a hormone. Okay, and adrenaline. Yes, adrenaline is a hormone formed by adrenal glands. So all these are there. Okay, so this chapter is all about the hormones and uh, what produces hormones and everything. Okay, so uh, in the body there are glands. Okay, in the body, in the human body, there are glands. There are different types of glands, and glands are also classified into different types. Okay, now the hormones that we are talking of, those are formed by endocrine glands only. Okay, hormones are found by endocrine glands. Hormones are secreted from endocrine glands. Okay, or you may say that the secretions of endocrine glands are known as hormones. Okay, the exocrine gland does not form hormone. Okay, we will discuss about each one in detail. But for now, just remember that the hormones that we are talking about, the chemicals, right? The chemicals. So the chemical is the hormone, and the hormone is produced by the endocrine glands. Okay, so gland, this is the definition for gland. Gland is nothing but an organ which produces and releases substances. Okay, substances means it might be hormones, it might be like saliva. Okay, saliva is released by salivary glands. Then sweat. Sweat is also some here the substances written no releases substances. So substances means hormones might be included like adrenaline, insulin, glucagon, uh, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. Okay, so there are many hormones, melatonin. So all those hormones are included in the substance. Then there is saliva, sweat, all those are there. Okay, so then there is for like male and female the sperm for male and for female the egg or the ovum that is also produced by glands. So whatever that a gland is an organ, it is an organ and it produces and releases substances, and those substances they perform some specific function in the body. Each substance like saliva has a particular purpose, right? Saliva has its own purpose. Insulin has its own purpose. Adrenaline has its own purpose. So every hormone or every substance that is released by the glands, they perform a specific function. Okay, their own function. Like your hand does a particular function and your leg does a particular function, right? Your ear does one function, your eyes are for different functions. So same way the glands, there are different glands and each gland produces different substances, and each substance again performs a specific function or a different function. Am I clear? So that is a gland. Okay, this is the definition.
हेलो मैम
Yeah,
মেম মানে এন্ড্ৰোচিয়ান গ্লানটো মানে এইটো আমাৰ তেনেকৈ হয়তো মানে বুজা নাই মই ভালকে কি
huh?
হয় বস্তুটো আসলে
কোনটো কি হয়?
ওই এন্ড্ৰোচিয়ান গ্লানটো এইটো কি হয় তো মানে বুজা নাই মই
Androgen?
ভালকে এন্ড্ৰোচিয়ান গ্লান্ড ওই
There
থ্রি
is
টাইপস
something
অফ
called androgen gland. Which one? This one, endocrine. No, we will discuss about এইটোকেইটা individually discuss কৰা হ'ব. Okay, this is endocrine, exocrine, heterocrine. These are the three types of gland. Three types of gland. Okay, like types থাকেতো বেলেগ function কাৰণে বেলেগ type থাকে. So there are different three types of this are এইখিনি পোৱাগে নাই ন এতিয়ালৈকে. Okay, we will discuss about each one in detail. So there are three types of gland. So glands, all of you understood what is a gland? Gland is nothing but an organ. Okay, and it produces and releases different substance, and each substance they perform a specific function. So that is a gland. Okay, this is the first. This line is the definition of a gland. Now there are three types of gland. First one is endocrine gland.
এন্ড্ৰোচিয়ান গ্লান্ড
Please mute yourself. Whenever you want to ask questions, you can unmute and ask. Okay, there are three types of glands, that is endocrine gland, exocrine gland, and heterocrine gland. So these are the three types of glands. So one thing I told, like the hormones that we are talking about, hormones, right? The adrenaline. One of you said adrenaline. Adrenaline, insulin, all those are hormones. So those hormones are released by endocrine gland, not by exocrine gland. Okay, the hormones are released by endocrine gland. So we will discuss about now endocrine gland. So these are the three types of gland, that is endocrine gland, exocrine gland, and heterocrine gland. These are differentiation is made on the basis of their functions or their position, function, whatever it is. Okay, we will discuss it now. Okay, so glands are of three types. Okay, endocrine, exocrine, and heterocrine. So endocrine glands are also known as ductless glands. This one here. Endocrine glands, they are also known as ductless glands. Why they are known as ductless glands? Because they do not have ducts. Now, what are ducts? Ducts. This is the spelling for ducts. This one. So, what are ducts? So, ducts are nothing but tubes. Okay, they are like sort of tubes. You can just imagine a tube. Tube, all of you know. So, ducts are nothing but they are in the shape of like tubes. Their shape is like that of tube. Okay, so ducts are nothing but tubes. So the endocrine glands, they do not have any ducts. Okay, that is why, since they do not have any ducts, that is why the endocrine glands are also known as ductless glands. Okay, endocrine glands are also known as ductless glands. Okay, and this one already mentioned, the secretions of endocrine glands are known as hormones. I have already mentioned that the exocrine glands, they do not form any hormones. Okay, they do not secrete any hormones. But the endocrine glands, they form hormones or they secrete hormones. Okay, so first thing that you need to remember is that about endocrine glands is that endocrine glands do not have any ducts, and that's why it is known as ductless glands. Okay, and then now how are the secretions? Secretions means whatever, like for something to come out of a particular thing, for some secretions or some liquids, just imagine it to be some sort of liquids. Okay, for those liquids to come out, there needs to be certain passage, right? There needs to be a certain passage, but this endocrine glands, they do not have that. They do not have any tubes from which the secretions will come out. Okay, they do not have any tubes. But what happens, their secretions, they are directly released into the bloodstream. They do not have any ducts. Their secretions are mixed with the blood. Okay, they directly come out of the gland and directly they mixes up with the blood. Okay, they do not have any ducts. Just remember that endocrine glands do not have any ducts, and ducts are nothing but tubes. They are tube-like structures. Okay, and they do not have any ducts, and that is why endocrine glands are also known as ductless glands. Okay, now what are hormones? Hormones, already I have mentioned, hormones are chemicals. Okay, so hormones are chemical messengers. Why messengers? Why hormones are known as, hormones are also known as, like as endocrine glands are known as ductless glands, hormones are also known as chemical messengers. Okay, this one messenger spelling, messengers. So they are also known as chemical messengers. Why chemical messengers? First thing, since they are hormones, since they are chemicals, and messengers because they carry messages from one part of the body to the other. Okay, they carry messages. That is why they are known as messengers. Messengers, all of you know, there is a messenger in Facebook. What is the function of that messenger? They carry message, right? That is why it is termed as messenger. So, same way, hormones also function as a messenger. That is why it is known as messenger. And since it is a chemical, it is known as chemical messenger. Okay. So, what are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers, and they are released from, or they are secreted from, or they are released from, or they are formed from the endocrine glands. Okay, just remember these three things. First of all, the endocrine glands, they do not have any ducts, and that is why they are known as ductless glands. And the endocrine glands, it forms hormones. Okay, the endocrine glands, it forms hormones, and the hormones are nothing but chemical messengers. You have to means Keep in mind these three things. Okay. Next is an example. So examples are examples of means pituitary gland. Examples of endocrine gland. Examples of endocrine gland are one is pituitary gland, then there is thyroid gland, then there is adrenal gland, and there are many more. Okay, we will discuss it more. For now, just remember these are the examples. It means the pituitary gland has ducts. Okay, and the pituitary gland have ducts, and there are hormones. There are certain hormones released by pituitary gland. Okay, pituitary gland. What is the criteria means to classify pituitary gland under endocrine glands or the thyroid gland to be an endocrine gland? What is the criteria to be an endocrine gland? That is, it has to has ducts and it has to secrete hormones, right? It has to form hormones and it has to have ducts. It does not have to have ducts. It should not have ducts. And second is that it has to form hormones. That is the criteria to be under to be means identified as a endocrine gland. Okay, so pituitary gland they do not have any ducts and they form hormones. That is why it is known as endocrine gland. So examples are pituitary gland is there, thyroid gland is there, then adrenal gland is there, then there is pineal gland, and many more glands are there. Okay, so one hormone that is really I will give in the notes detailed everything in the notes, so don't worry. But you have to just know this basics, okay, before going into because this chapter, okay, before this chapter, the name of the chapter, if you see, this is all about the endocrine glands. Okay, but I am mentioning these other two glands so that you will know what is a gland and what are the types of glands. But the main thing is about this endocrine glands only this chapter is about. So you have to study in details about each one gland, each gland. There are about 10 glands, endocrine glands, and you have to study about each one. Okay, for that I'll give you the notes. For this portion, you can take from this PPT only. Take screenshots. Okay. So pituitary gland it releases hormone, and then some of the hormones are there is prolactin. Prolactin is a hormone released by pituitary gland. Then there is oxytocin, and one more thing you have to memorize this. Okay, the hormones released by that particular gland. There is no other way to keep it in mind. You have to memorize it. That is the hormones that is released from a particular gland. You have to memorize it. There is no other way. So yes. I will give it in the notes. So there are different hormones released by pituitary gland, and it is like there is prolactin is there, then there is oxytocin is there, then there is vasopressin is there, then there is growth hormone. So there are different hormones that is released from the pituitary gland. Then there is thyroid gland. Also there are different hormones. That is thyroxine is there. Then T3, T4, all those are there. Okay, and adrenal gland. What was there? One of you said there is what is the hormone released by adrenal gland? That is adrenaline. Okay, that is adrenaline. Adrenaline is the hormone that is released by adrenal glands. Okay. Adrenaline is there. Then one more is there. Wait, that is noradrenaline. Okay, two hormones are there. We will give it in the notes. Include in the notes. So this is all about endocrine glands. That is, they do not have ducts and they are known as ductless glands. And the secretions of endocrine glands, they are known as hormones. Now, what are hormones? It might be asked, and what are hormones? Then you have to write this definition. Okay? This one. So hormones, basically, to say that hormones are chemical messengers. Okay, messengers since they relay messages, and since they are chemicals, they are known as chemical messengers. Okay, examples of endocrine glands. There are pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pineal gland is there. Then there are different types of glands. Okay. Now next is exocrine gland. So it might be asked what is the most important difference between what is the difference between endocrine and exocrine gland. So the most important difference between exocrine and endocrine gland is that endocrine gland is known as ductless gland, right? Because they do not have ducts. But this exocrine gland, they have ducts. Okay, that is the most important difference between endocrine and exocrine gland. So this exocrine gland, they have ducts. Okay, examples are salivary gland. So all of you have heard of salivary ducts, right? salivary gland produces saliva, and it comes out through ducts, tubes. Saliva, it comes from it is formed in the salivary gland, right? Saliva is formed in the salivary gland, or sweat forms in the sweat gland. Okay, and it comes out through ducts, through tubes. Okay, sweat, it comes out, there is sweat duct, and it comes out through the duct. Saliva is also, it comes out through the salivary duct. Okay, so these are the examples. Just remember that exocrine gland. So I'm not discussing more about this one because this chapter is not about these glands. Just for your knowledge, a little bit I'm just adding it, but the main thing is about endocrine glands. So exocrine glands, just remember that exocrine glands, they have ducts. Okay, they possess ducts, and uh, their secretions, whatever their secretions are, the secretions, they come out through the ducts. Okay, and they do not form any hormones. Hormones are not formed from exocrine glands. Okay, the examples are salivary gland. What does salivary gland form? The secretions, that is salivary gland forms saliva. Then there is sweat gland. Sweat gland forms sweat. Sweat, all of you know sweat. During the summers, you sweat, right? So that sweat comes out through the sweat uh, uh, sweat gland with the help of ducts. Okay, that is tubes. So the third type of gland is heterocrine gland. This is a little bit different than the both. So for endocrine gland, we have seen endocrine glands have duct. They do not have ducts. For exocrine gland, is that exocrine gland have ducts, right? But for the heterocrine gland, what happens? The heterocrine gland, they contain the both exocrine as well as an endocrine part. Okay, they contain half. You can just imagine it to be, this heterocrine gland is a mixture of endocrine as well as exocrine gland. It is a mix. You can just what to say, assume it to be some sort of hybrid. Okay, like a mixture, a cross between endocrine and exocrine gland. Okay, it is a mixture. It is like half and half. Okay, so examples are pancreas and ovary and testis. Okay, so a heterocrine gland, it is a little bit different, and it contains both exocrine and endocrine part, which means endocrine part means they will form, what they will form? They will form hormones. This endocrine part will not have any ducts, and they will form hormones, right? And this exocrine part, they will have ducts, and they will form their secretions, their particular secretions. Okay, let me give you example for pancreas. Okay, pancreas, the hormone released by pancreas is the most important hormone that we have discussed a few minutes back. That is insulin. Okay, so the pancreas, this is a gland, and it produces insulin. And there is glucagon. Okay, plays a very very important role in diabetic patients or diabetes. Okay, blood sugar level. So this pancreas, since they produces hormone, that is insulin and glucagon, that part comes under endocrine part. Okay, this for the pancreas. And for the ovary, what is the hormone produced by the ovary? For females, there is ovary, right? What is the hormone produced by ovary? Can you name the hormone produced by ovary? Hmm? For for female, for girls, what is that hormone that is there and which is absent for boys? What is the hormone? It is absent or it is found less. So that is what hormone is found? Don't know. Ovary. Do you know ovary? What is ovary? Ovary is from where the eggs are produced. No, for fertilization, for making babies. The eggs that is formed from the ovary. Okay, the hormone that is released by ovary is estrogen, progesterone. Okay, hormone that is released by ovary. These two glands are known as, these two glands are what these two glands are known as what? Gonads. Okay, these two glands are included in gonads. Okay, gonads, sex glands. Okay, this is for males there is testis, for females there is ovary. And ovary, it produces hormones like estrogen and progesterone. Okay, that is the endocrine part. Endocrine part of ovary produces estrogen and progesterone. Endocrine part of pancreas, they produces what hormone? That is insulin and glucagon. For testis, the endocrine part of testis, it produces what hormone? That is testosterone. All of you have heard of it. Obviously, you have heard of it. You might have forgot, you don't know the relevance, but you have heard of it, obviously. So, for males, the testosterone hormone is produced by the testis, and this is the endocrine part. Okay, for pancreas, it is the hormone that is produced by the endocrine part is insulin and glucagon. For ovary, the hormone that is produced by the endocrine part is uh, estrogen and progesterone. Then for testis, the endocrine part is they produces testosterone. Okay, now let's come to the exocrine part. Since we have discussed that the heterocrine gland, they will have both the exocrine as well as the endocrine part. Okay, for the endocrine part, the hormones are produced. Okay, but for exocrine part, they will have ducts, right? They will have ducts and they will form other secretions. Like there is saliva, right? Saliva is not a hormone, right? But there are secretions of glands, right? So it is not a hormone. So same way there will be like secretions. So for testes, the secretion of the exocrine part of the testis is what? The sperm. Okay, the exocrine part of the testis, they produces sperm. Okay, and the exocrine part of the ovary, they produces eggs or ovum. Okay, and same way for exocrine part of pancreas, they produces those islet of Langerhans is there. Okay, alpha and beta cells, islets of Langerhans, everything. The cells that are responsible for what to say the production of hormones. Those cells, and those alpha and beta cells are there. Those islets of Langerhans, all those are secreted by the exocrine part of the pancreas. Okay, these are the glands you need to remember that have an exocrine part as well as an endocrine part. Okay, endocrine part will not have any ducts, but the exocrine will have ducts. And endocrine will secrete hormones, and exocrine will not secrete any hormones. Okay, so you need to remember the main features of all the types of glands. Okay, for example, it might be asked to differentiate between exocrine, endocrine, and heterocrine gland. Right, there might be questions, right? The difference between exocrine gland, endocrine gland, and heterocrine gland. It might be asked sometimes, and you have to uh, write it down. Okay, this portion there is nothing much to write down. That is why I did not include in the notes. So you just take it from here. But next, since the chapter is all about the endocrine gland, you have to write in details about each gland that I have mentioned in the notes. Okay, that will be included in the notes. Okay, now since this chapter is about the endocrine glands, we have to mention all the endocrine glands as well as the heterocrine glands. Okay, why the heterocrine glands? This chapter is all about the endocrine glands. Okay, but you have to include the endocrine glands as well as this heterocrine gland. Why? Because this heterocrine gland, they have an endocrine part, right? Since this heterocrine gland has an endocrine part, you have to include it in this chapter. We have to include it, but we can exclude this exocrine gland because this does not fall under endocrine gland. But these things also will come. We have to study about this also because we have to study about the endocrine part. Okay, so there are 10 glands. First is hypothalamus, then there is pituitary. These are the locations. Okay, just to show you where it is found, I have put this diagram. Okay, so there are 10 glands. That is hypothalamus, then pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, thymus gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, ovary, and testes. There are 10, you can count. There are 10. So you need to the position of the gland, where it is situated, and you have to remember the position of the gland as well as means where it is situated. Like this gland, it is situated in the head, right, head region. So, and some it is situated near the stomach, and some lower abdomen. Okay, so you have to memorize where the position of each gland is, and the hormone released by each gland. It is different for every gland. Okay, so I will discuss about one hormone, that is melatonin. I will give the writing part. Okay, I will give the writing part, the notes. So there is a very important hormone that is known as melatonin. Okay, just remember, there is a very important hormone that is melatonin, which is released by pineal gland. Okay, a very important hormone that is melatonin, which is released by pineal gland. What is the function of the melatonin? What is the function of melatonin? Have you heard of melanin pigment? No. Okay. This Some people are dark complexion and some are fair, right? Some people are dark, some are darker, and like the complexion and skin color, it differs from person to person, right? And that is because of the melanin pigment present in the skin. Okay, that is because of the melanin pigment. The more the melanin pigment is there, the more darker a person is. The less the melanin pigment is there, less dark a person is. Okay, that is why applying all those face creams, giving in the ad, all those face creams, right, Fair and Lovely, or whatever those face creams are there. So applying all those will not change your skin color. Yes, it might change for up the time when you apply all those. That coating is there, it will change. Then whenever you like wash it, it'll go. Okay, so the skin color will not change. Okay. Why? Because the melanin pigment is there, and melanin pigment, if you will try to like what to say, uh, mess with that melanin, whatever that is present, if you try to mess with it, your skin will be like, you'll all become cancerous and everything. There will be so much side effects and all. Okay, so what is it? That there is a hormone that is melatonin. Okay, I'm mentioning the particular hormone because this is very important hormone found by the pineal gland. Okay, so that hormone is known as melatonin, and melatonin, it forms a pigment that is melanin pigment. So this melatonin hormone, this is responsible for the color pigmentation. Pigmentation means the skin color. Okay, skin pigmentation means skin color. That is, the more the melatonin is produced, the more the melanin pigment is produced by the melatonin hormone, the darker your skin will be. The less it produces, the you will be fair, you will be lighter skin. Okay, that is one important function. The second important function is that, why do you think is you don't feel, for those lazy persons, I'm not talking about the lazy people, okay, who's sleeping like 24/7. I'm not talking about those lazy people, okay. But other than those lazy guys, just for a normal healthy human being, why do you think people do not sleep in the day and they sleep at night? Why do you feel sleepy at night and during the day you can go all day? Do you think it is because of that sunlight is there? Do you think because of it that it is light in the day, that is why we do not sleep? We can do all the work because we can see things. And in the night, since we cannot see anything, we sleep. Do you think that is the case? No, that is not the case. Okay. Uh, but that 24-hour diurnal rhythm that is called 24-hour diurnal rhythm. That is, you like for the like night you sleep, then you again for morning you wake up, then again at a certain time you go to sleep, then that that cycle, that is repeated, right? That is because of this hormone that regulates, this hormone that is melatonin, that regulates the 24-hour diurnal rhythm. Okay, that is the 24-hour cycle. That is, you wake and you awake and you sleep, you wake, sleep, wake, sleep cycle. Okay, that is maintained by the melatonin hormone that is released by pineal gland. Am I clear? So that is that. Then uh, actually, there is this about this glands. No, nothing much to discuss. That the thing is that you have to remember the position wherever that gland is. Like, for example, this pineal gland. It is located in the in near this. There is a like bony cavity. Okay, there is a space. There is a bony cavity. So it is located in the bony cavity, and there are certain like, and it is attached. It is attached to some stalk. Stalk means like what to say, like a stick. Okay, it is attached to the stick. So like that it is situated. Okay, so these are the glands, and you need to write about each gland that I will give. Okay, the time is up, only 5 minutes is there. If you have any doubts, please ask. I'll give the notes. Okay, there is nothing much about this chapter. If you have doubts, please ask. I'll give the uh, phone numbers, and I'll give the notes. You go through at home, and if there is any doubts, you can ask. Okay, for it. Do you know you have holidays for puja up to?
No, ma'am.
You'll have holidays. You'll not have any class
Miss, ma'am, from which date?
from tomorrow to Monday.
Okay.
From tomorrow to
From
Monday.
tomorrow, ma'am.
Yes, from tomorrow there will be no class. From tomorrow you will have no class up to Monday. From Tuesday you will again continue class. Okay. So
মানে আজি লাষ্ট ক্লাছ আৰু
আজি last class. ঘৰত অলপ চাবা এইখিনি, just go through at home once. This chapter is nothing much to discuss. You have to memorize, so just go through at home at once. And I'll give the notes today, and you can ask me doubts in the next class, okay? Because this meeting will end automatically after like 45 minutes. Like 1 or 2 minutes is left, I guess. Okay. Doubts? If you have doubts, just go through at home the notes that I'll give you, and you can ask me doubts the next class. Okay. Okay, and happy puja, everyone.
ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি খোলাৰ
Happy
কিবা
Durga
হেৰি
Puja.
পাইছেনে
Happy Puja, ma'am.
Yeah. কি সুধিছিলা তুমি কোনবা কোৱা?
ইউনিভাৰ্চিটি অপেন হোৱাৰ কিবা নটিফিকেশ্যন
নাই
আপোনালোকক
নাই নাই
দিছে
নাই একো দিয়া নাই। তোমালোকে নটিফিকেশ্যন পালে পাই যাবা, আৰু তোমালোকৰ ষ্টুডেণ্ট পৰ্টেলতে দি দিব নটিফিকেশ্যন যদি ওলাই, আৰু এনেও আমিতো দিমেই। তো তেনেকুৱা ওলোৱা নাই হা এতিয়ালৈকে।
ओके मैम
2 तारीख से क्या ओपन होगा?
हैप्पी पूजा मैम
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. For 2 তাৰিখৰ পৰা যোনটো for the like from 2 it's like said that it will open, that it is not for the universities. Okay, the universities the VC will decide. For the universities the VC will decide. Okay, that is not decided yet. You will get to know when it is decided. Okay, I'll send the notes in the group. Just go through it once, and you can ask me doubts the next class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Puja, ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Happy Puja, ma'am, once more.
Thank you. Thank you.
মেম আজি আমাৰ ফ্ৰেছমেন পাতিছে
এটা বজাত জইন কৰিবা।
ঠিক আছে